Hi, I'm Kirby Allison, and welcome to the 2025 World Championship of Shoemaking. Every year at the London Super Trunk Show, the World Championship of Shoemaking is held. In this competition, shoemakers from around the world try their hand at producing what are true masterpieces of bespoke shoemaking to be judged by a jury of some of the leading experts and authorities on shoes. Every year we choose a different model for the World Championship of Shoemaking. This year, as you can see, is a double monk strap. What is exciting about this is not just how the World Championship of Shoemaking pushes the boundaries of the craft itself, but also showcases the creativity of shoemakers from around the world as they each have a different interpretation of that year's shoe. We've had 25 entries this year from around the world, and very soon we will be announcing the 2025 World Champion of Shoemaking. The Valet, here in London's iconic Piccadilly Arcade, is hosting this year's judging for the World Championship of Shoemaking. Downstairs, all 30 finalist entries are on display, each a masterwork in its own right. The judges, myself included, are about to see them for the very first time. It's a distinguished panel, 7 renowned bespoke shoemakers and 2 prize sponsors, Gary Talk, author of Master Shoemaker, and the event's organizers, Jesper Ingvaldsen of Shoegazing and Justin Fitzpatrick of The Shoe Snob. Every shoe will be examined in meticulous detail, scored across 3 categories. First, the degree of difficulty, how ambitious and complex the construction truly is. Second, the quality of execution and finishing, those tiny details that separate the exceptional from the extraordinary. And finally, design and aesthetics, how each maker has interpreted this year's model, the black double monk strap. It's an inspiring process, equal parts arts and scrutiny, and one that shines a light on the absolute pinnacle of the shoemaker's craft.
The World Championships of Shoemaking, where we'll have the 25 entries showed and displayed here on site. So I hope that all of you have had the chance to admire them. This is the 6th edition of the World Championships of Shoemaking. It's organized by Shoegazing, the Shoe Snob, and Kirby Allison, together with the book project Master Shoemakers, where we have Gary Talk, and Parker Schenecker, who's the brother of the contest co-founder Edmund Schenecker, who sadly passed away a few years ago. Parker, where are you? There you go. So these two and Kirby Allison are providing the generous prize money of £6,000 in total. And there's also alls by Phil Norsworthy, part of the prize pool. And should mention that the previous winners are Patrick Frey, won 2018 from Germany. We had Daniel Wegan, UK, Sweden, won 2019. In 2022, Wataru Shimamoto from Japan won. And Athanase Sefoko from France won 24. And Ken Hishinuma, 23 won Sefoko and 24 Ken Hishinuma from Japan. So the jury consists of me, Jesper Ingvaldsen, Justin Fitzpatrick of the Shoe Snob, Kirby Allison, and Gary Took, who are considered like shoe experts. And then we have a majority of shoemakers, and I think most of you are probably here today. So please raise your hand and we give them a round of applause when I read you up. We have Jean-Michel Casalonga from France, bespoke shoemaker. Jean-Michel, where are you? Okay, he just left. All right. But we have as well Sebastian Tarek, a London-based bespoke shoemaker. Yeah. William Laborde, also based here in London. Not here, no. Emiko Matsuda, there we have her. Yeah, previously at Foster's, now running her own brand. Saskia Whitmer from Italy, there we have her, or from Germany/Italy. Athanase Sefoko from France and Berluti. He's not here, I think. He's baptizing his daughter, I think, today. But he was here for the jury review yesterday. And then Daniel Wegan should be here somewhere, running the brand Catella Shoemaker. And both the past two have been previous world champions, as I previously mentioned. Okay, so the prize pool consists of £6,000. Shoemaking alls by Phil Norsworthy. They are really amazing. You need to have a look at them later. Yeah, exactly. Applause. They are something. We spent too much effort, almost. And then gold, silver, and bronze medals to the top 3. And of course, they get to tour the world to, among other places, Isetan Men's and many other stores around the world to be showcased for shoe lovers. Okay, and I can also mention that last year the Shoemaking Championships was featured on one of the most watched shows on BBC World News. So there was like millions around the world that got to know about the shoemaking contest, and we had it in a lot of other media outlets and everything. So that's an important part of why we do this. We want to spread the gospel about handmade shoes. And back in the days, these type of contests were really common. We sort of wanted to bring that back with the World Championship contest. So the shoe to be made this year was a double monk strap, smooth dark brown calf leather. They had to leather sew with a waist and stitched, and hand welted with handmade sole stitch. Only the upper can be machine stitched. And the shoe trees were not part of the judging, so you know that. I think there was 50 registered for the contest, and then 28 were sent in, but a couple didn't really make it due to customs issues and stuff like that. So we had 25 entries from 13 different countries. So literally all over the world. I think most of the continents were represented. There, Antarctica. Yeah. So what is judged is the degree of difficulty, where the jury gives 10 points maximum. So we look at how complicated the construction methods that have been used, how advanced they have been built, both in large and smaller details. Execution, 10 points max. Jury look at how well the various parts of the shoe construction have been made, how neat and clean the work is, how well executed the level of finishing is, etc. And then design aesthetics, maximum 5 points. And there the jury look at the overall aesthetics of the shoe, pattern, proportions, balance, etc. in as objective way as possible. And I can also mention that next year we will also give 5 points for originality. So that will sort of add another layer of things, and we want to push makers to come up with new, exciting things, so to speak. We also announced already today to give the shoemakers, because we know that there's a lot of shoemakers who watch this on the live stream, and we will talk about it in social media and everything, that the shoe to be made for 2026 World Championships is a Chelsea boot with a relatively open design. More info will come soon, but you can start to think about it straight away, all you shoemakers there. And then you have the call for competition come out later this year. That's the boring part. Now on to the fun part, where we announce the top 10. I should mention that the other positions, we will email the contestants relatively soon with their positions. And then once I have time to finalize the really big articles covering all the contested shoes, it will be sort of revealed where the other ones are positioned, just so you know the process. So up here we have the top 10, and we're going to start from the top and go all the way down to number 3, and then I will tell who the 2 ones that fight for the top spot is, and then I announce the winner. So in 10th place we have Kodai Kawasaki from Japan. It's a high-heeled shoe, one of the few high-heeled ones. Beautifully consistent shape on the heel and the back. Very fine handmade beading medallion, and very well made. He's based in Tokyo and runs the brand Shoe Place By. In 9th place we have Kim Jung-won from South Korea. Really cool shoe with a unique buckle design, which did receive 5% deduction of points due to using too many leather pieces, because the specification said 2 to 4 leather pieces and it had more. So we have that deduction system. We have 5% for small errors, 10% for larger errors. should there be really big errors that could be disqualified. We haven't had to do that yet. This will also be announced on the articles on the shoegazing and the shoe snob, why and if there's deductions. But I think that's the only one in the top that had that. So Kim Johan has worked with shoemaking for 13 years and runs a shoe factory that produces the brand Kyle Shoemaker, as well as private label for other brands. And it's a very specially designed shoe. Take a look at it, it's really cool. 8th place, we have Akka from China. It's a shoe inspired by Gothic buildings. It's a seamless main piece of the upper, handmade buckles, very intricate heel build. Scored really high on design particularly, even if of course good in the other categories as well. And everything is made by Celia Huang, who runs the brand Akka, apart from the buckles that were made by Ho Jewelry Design Studio. She studied art in Italy and now has made shoes properly for 2 years. So I can say that the shoemakers need to tell who has made what in all the shoes. So that's why we announced this, and this will also be listed later. 7th place, Stato Martinelli from Italy. Based in Descenso della Garda, by the Garda Lake in Italy. The shoe was made in full by Paolo Martinelli. And as I think you can see, it's sort of inspired by a boat, meant to look sort of like a boat. Also very special design. Unique piece, lots of great things going on. Norwegian stitched, seamless upper piece. Yeah, very lovely details. Relatively evenly scored, I think. 6th place, we have Ryo Okuda from Japan. It's a shoe that perhaps doesn't look that special at first sight, but when you look close, you find a lot to appreciate. Very tight, finely made sole stitching, seamless upper part, and very well balanced pattern. And amazing nail work there. I think it's 148 0.5 millimeter thick nails in the heel. So make sure to lift up the shoe and have a look later. Ryo Okuda is based in Tokyo and has worked several years for a prosthetist and orthosis shoemaker, but also trained bottom making and other things in shoemaking classes. And the whole shoe is made by him. So, getting closer. We have 5 shoes left. And in 5th place, we have The Last Shoemaker. And I don't think anyone has missed this piece. It certainly stands out. A for effort, as we put it. And if it would have been part next year, we would surely score high on originality. Unfortunately, we might not be able to copy that, which I'm happy about, because then we have a lot of heavy shoes to handle. The workshop is based in Bangkok, run by the Scotsman Alan Donnelly. And crazily enough, the workshop was destroyed in a fire this spring, including their half-finished shoe. So what they call the marshmallow double monk looked like a toasted marshmallow double monk. So that's what they decided to call this one, to sort of honor that. Because in just 2 weeks' time, they remade it and finished it this well to take 5th place. Hand-beaded decorations here, very amazing. Melted 2-shape, 5-layer hollowed out sole, made of properly wedged hand bands. So yeah, maybe didn't score the highest on execution, but good on difficulty and design aesthetics. The last pattern was made by Alan Donnelly, hand embroidery by Jim Blowen, upper making by Mr. Rang, and bottoming by Mr. Him. So, 4th place, we have Emi Liao from Taiwan/UK. She's here. Raise your hand. Congratulations. Amazing work. A favorite design-wise for many in the jury. A beautifully sort of toned down double monk strap with delicate small twists like the wavy toe cap, gold details and fine buckles. The design sort of explores the idea of time, and you have like a heart with a clock. And Emil Yao is from Taiwan, but has been based in London for a few years. She's been working at John Lobb, London. The shoe was made by Emi with technical support from Zhang Dayan or Arya Badia, who finished third last year, which you might recognize, and some design support from Xiun and Xiamin. Okay, top 3 left. We have Louise Lampertsdorfer, Ken Hishinuma, and Ken Kataoka on the podium positions. And we'll start with third place. In third, Ken Hishinuma from Japan. This is actually last year's world champion who, impressively enough, made another shoe for this year's competition. Those who know how much effort that goes into this, we're impressed, let's say the least. And to manage to take podium positions twice is the first for sure. So he runs the brand Kish to Work, now work from the Japanese woods sort of. He offers MTO and bespoke, and has one of Japan's largest YouTube channels on shoemaking called Crazy About Shoes. And the shoe this time is a very classy looking shoe, beautifully executed, with 2-level welt with different sole stitch versions, hand braided decoration seams on the upper, thin finely made heel lifts, and a metal insert in the heel. There are some of the nice features. He made everything himself, apart from the polishing, which was made by Go Ishimi. Okay, now I'm gonna present the first and second place, and then I will announce who the winner is. Okay. One shoe is made by Louise Lampertsdorfer from Germany. He's here. Hey. And he's based in the German city Munich, and works, among other things, he's been an apprentice at Graziani Girling in England, but now runs his own brand Mogara, offering bespoke and a small hand-welted ready-to-wear range. And he has been is it third year now? Sixth, third, and second or first. So you're reaching higher and higher. So the shoe is clearly inspired by old contest shoes. Very thin sole stitch, thin sole with super fine sole stitching. I think it's 30 stitches per inch, which is, I'm not sure if it's a record, but certainly up there among the contest shoes. And horseshoe heel, inlay in the waist area. Also here we have these super thin 0.5 millimeter nails in the heel. And you made everything yourself this time, right? We also have Ken Kataoka from Japan. And this is certainly a spectacular, charismatic shoe. Lots of things to admire. Superb closing of the upper, nicely designed with beautiful metal parts. I think it comes from vintage jewelry that they sort of turned into details for this shoe. Very narrow waist. It is made 270 degrees as specified. And Ken Kataoka is a Japanese maker based in Tokyo. He has worked under the brand name Sirueno Yusui, but now he plans to focus on presenting it as his own, under his own name going forward. Trained partly at the shoemaking school of Noriko Misawa and other things, and he also has a really big Japanese YouTube channel showcasing shoemaking. He made all himself, I should mention. Yeah. And World Champion of Shoemaking 2025 is Louise Lampertsdorfer from Germany. Congratulations!
Congratulations, man.
An incredible shoe, Louise. You finally made it to the top. How does it feel?
It feels amazing. Yeah, I'm a bit lost for words now, to be honest. I have to say, but I'm very happy, very happy. I would like to thank the people who worked with me on this, Ras Maftai from Vienna and Sebastian Schober from Munich, and I think we made a great team effort. Yeah, probably I made most of it, but yeah.
So tell us, how much time have you spent making this shoe, you know?
I think probably like 200 hours or something. I basically made the shoe twice because I wasn't happy with the finish in the first place, and then I took everything off, re-welted it, took it from there. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes, yeah, we're intense last month. Yeah,
I
yeah.
see.
Yes.
Good that it was worth it, for sure. Okay, congratulations again. We're gonna give you the gold medal. We want to take photos, and you can all come up and have a look at the shoes here. Have a look at the patina shoes. We want to photograph you guys. So thank you everyone for being part of the London Super Trunk Show 2025. Me, Justin Fitzpatrick, and Kirby Allison in the organization team are super happy with the day. It's been an amazing turnout. Know that vendors are very happy. We'll be back for sure next year, likely in May as well. We can say that we have the New York Super Trunk Show taking place on the 4th of October in New York City on Manhattan. And we have the Singapore Super Trunk Show taking place on 31st of January 2026. First time in Asia, where we'll also have the Asian Championships of Shoe Shining and lots of other things. So more info on that will come later on. But yeah, stay tuned in this world of shoes and menswear that we all love so much. Thank you for all the participants and the visitors, vendors. Now grab a few drinks, go check the vendors for last time, and see you again next year. Okay, thank you.
Well, what an exciting day. Of course, the grand finale of the London Super Trunk Show, the announcement of the winner of the World Championship of Shoemaking. And today I couldn't be any more excited to announce that that was you, Louis Lamperdorfer.
Yes.
2025 World Championship of Shoemaking.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I know that this isn't your first time to enter.
Right.
So this has really been an accomplishment, a prize that I know that you've been pursuing now for several years.
That's true. Yeah, it's the third time that I have entered the competition, and I worked my way up from starting at the 6th place, then the 3rd, now the 1st.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, congratulations. I
Thank
think
you.
that I think that you may have entered this competition more than any other single shoemaker, because it really is a feat of endurance in order to make a shoe like this.
That's true, yeah.
And I know Jesper, as he was describing this, gave a very interesting kind of story that you actually had to remake it once because when you were completed the first time, you weren't happy.
No, I wasn't happy with the finish on the sole, so I took everything off again, re-welted it, and rebuilt the entire bottom of the shoe. Yeah.
I mean, that level of commitment, I think, is really outstanding, and that's
Thank
the
you.
level of commitment that we see amongst the finalists here at the World Championship of Shoemaking.
Yeah, I think there were a lot of great shoes in the final this year, and to be honest, I thought that it was very close. I wasn't really sure I would win, to be honest.
Yeah.
There were a lot of really good shoes in the final, and I feel very honored, humbled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you wouldn't mind, I know that there's so much that goes into
Sure.
a shoe like this, so much more than meets the eye
Yeah.
initially. And one of the things that I love are those nuanced elements of
Yes.
craft that the championship allows shoemakers to exercise. And
Right.
so if you wouldn't mind kind of pointing a few of those out, I always find them incredibly interesting.
Sure. So let's start with the uppers maybe. The uppers are made from one seamless piece of leather, which creates the vamp of the shoe, and then one seamless piece which creates the quarters, and they are overlapping here because it's a double monk, and the toe cap. So only 3 pieces of leather in total. And they were assembled by my friend Ras Maftai, who works in Vienna.
Mm-hmm.
He did the closing, and then I did the hand-braided decorations basically on the upper.
Yeah.
And then moving on to the bottom, you have quite a few nice details. I think I did an inlay, which is basically made by cutting out a part of the sole, and then I covered it in the same leather as that the upper is made from. And I added the decorative stitching, and there's also a little, don't know if you will have some video, some photos. So there's a little French binding here to fill the gap. And you've got the horseshoe heel with the ridge in the back, and then you've got 30 stitches per inch sole stitching, which is really, it's 0.8 millimeters, and it's really, took me a long time. At some points it was really just hard to see where the next stitch was going to go.
Yeah. I mean, you almost needed, magnifying glasses,
yes,
on your
like
eyes.
Watchmakers, I agree. Yeah, and then the maybe something else to highlight are the buckles, which are made of sterling silver, and the toe plate, and they are made in like a hammered technique by a goldsmith in Munich that goes by the name of Sebastian Schober.
Okay.
And he did an outstanding job, I think. Like, I came up with the design and he then crafted it. Yeah.
Well, I know that you're a bespoke shoemaker,
right
now practicing out of Germany.
Yes.
Are you traveling and doing trunk shows in various places, or is it primarily a European-based clientele?
Well, I'm doing trunk shows in Paris and in Geneva, sometimes in Amsterdam, so in Europe, and I might expand that in the future. I have, by now I'm lucky to say that I have clients from all over the world, really, and because I offer something which is like a remote bespoke service. So my clients can have fitting shoes sent to them, which they can then try on at home. We have a video call, we assess the fit together, and then based on that I create like a made-to-measure pair for them. And that has worked quite well for those customers that can't travel to Munich, but live somewhere where I am not traveling to or not yet traveling to. And
But then you do full bespoke as well.
And full bespoke, of course, but that's something I can only offer if I meet the client in person.
Of course. Well, when you look at this incredible shoe right here, I mean, do you see any elements that maybe you were exploring or kind of honing in on for the first time that you think will find their way to your bespoke work?
Yes, I will definitely. I would like to work with these buckles, and I will have them made like in a small batch to offer to my customers. This is now basically a prototype, but I really like the look of it, and it's going to be available soon, hopefully. I like the hand-braided decoration, so I'm going to pick up on that. Other than that, there are nice details, but they're not really
practical.
Yes.
But what about the pattern itself? Because I mean, this pattern is a very unique interpretation of a double monk strap that is of course exaggerated in this beautiful silhouette.
Yes,
but could easily be interpreted for a customer shoe.
Of course. And so far in my ready-to-wear and made-to-order collection, there isn't a double monk yet, but I would definitely like to add one, and I will probably take inspiration from this. Like, back then, you interviewed me in 2019 for the full broke, and that has made it to the ready-to-wear collection, and probably this style is going to be added as well.
Well, I have to ask, how are you going to celebrate tonight?
I don't know yet, but I heard we're all going to the pub later,
That's right.
So I'm looking forward to
proper
that.
British celebration. Well, Louis, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Very
Kirby.
well deserved.
Thank you.
Absolutely incredible demonstration of craft, really at the highest level.
Thank you very much.
And I just couldn't be more happy that you won this year. So congratulations.
Thank you, Kirby.
Yeah, my pleasure.
All right.
I'm here right now with the 2019 World Champion of Shoemaking and bespoke shoemaker extraordinaire, Daniel Wegan. It's so exciting to see you again. Of course, one of the great things I look forward to every year at the Super Trunk Show in the World Champions is the opportunity to see the shoemakers that actually come in from all over the United Kingdom and the world to see that year's entrance.
Well, it's the same for me. You know, a lot of people in this industry I only meet once a year, and it's this event. So it's one of the reasons I think it's important to keep this going, because it takes a lot to get out of their workshops and all be at the same place. So I really, really enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, and as a former winner of the World Champions of Shoemaking, you can attest to just the incredible amount of time it takes to complete an entrant into this contest.
Yeah. No, it's really impressive to see people enter this competition once, but this year we're fortunate enough to have people that have won the competition previously, or scored very high to keep entering and keep producing great work to push their craft and push the competition.
Yeah, well, we don't know who the winners are yet, but to this vein, I thought it would be interesting to pull a few of the shoes from this year's competition that were made by shoemakers that had either entered or won previous year's competition. So I thought you might talk through these. I mean, again, it really takes the eye of a true artisan or craftsman such as yourself to really be able to pick out the incredible elements of detail that one can find in these shoes.
Yeah, I mean, the first one that comes to mind is Ken Hishinuma, who won last year's competition. And to come back for more the next year, you know, is it genius? Is it foolish?
Is it crazy?
Yeah. But I'm very glad that he entered again. Yeah. And he kind of puts the pressure on us that has won before to keep coming back. Yeah. So it's nice that he took that step, because he's the first one to re-enter after winning. Yeah. And I think he's done something that's a little bit different from last year. That was a little bit more out there. Okay. This, to me, is a little bit more wearable, a little bit more conservative, but still very tasteful. Yeah. And it's probably my favorite shoe on the table as something that I would consider. You could basically, if it's the right size, you could pretty much take this and walk out the door. Yeah. And it's still top level craftsmanship, which is sometimes this competition gets criticized for some of the shoes being more too conceptual, not really wearable. But I think this is a good proof that it's not all like that. Yeah. That there's something for everyone here.
We'll talk through that, because there are a lot of really interesting details here that even to someone that's judged previous year's competitions, I think are a little bit unfamiliar to me.
Yeah, what I do like is he's gone for a double welt, and there are two different stitch densities. So a very fine stitch with then a very, very, very fine stitch. And it's still light and elegant, even though it's got these features that would more commonly be seen on something more casual, and could be sometimes too heavy looking for a dress shoe. Okay. But here I think is implemented and executed it beautifully. And also a waist that's not extremely narrow, but still very tasteful, very precise, and beautiful thin lifts in the heel that I'm personally a fan of, with a subtle ridge.
Yeah, I mean, this is an incredible detail right here. I mean, the heel stack alone, I mean, I haven't counted, but there have to be 15 or 20 different tiny little layers that have been built out. And then, the I don't know what you'd call this, the fin or the kind of the ridge right here. Yeah. It's not exaggerated like in years past. I mean, we've seen quite exaggerated details. Well, yours was fantastic. But this, there's a subtlety to it that I think really...
Yeah, it's very tasteful.
It's quite tasteful.
And I like that it actually starts out as a normal round heel, but then it grows into this very organic shape with the ridge there, that then
carries through to the outer.
Carries through with this kind of inlay brass work. Very tasteful, very beautiful, and well executed, which is what makes you do well in this competition.
Yeah, absolutely. And here we've got kind of beautiful stitching across the cap, and then am I right that right here on the vamp, right, you see a braid stitch.
Exactly. So it's something that we've seen a lot over the years. Is a thread being passed under the machining or hand sewing to give a slightly different appearance. This time it's kind of creating a zigzag pattern, and sometimes it creates a chain pattern depending on how you position the threads. Yeah. And there's a lot of fine, detailed stitching here where you really have to get up close to see what's going on. Might even be worth to try to bring a little magnifying glass. Right. It's getting harder and harder for us judges to really see what we're looking at.
And another interesting characteristic here is the hardware, which for a double monk strap is something that's actually quite limiting, because there's just not much available hardware out there. So you often see the same buckles on different people's shoes.
You see a lot of similar buckles. Here, a lot of these, what you can see in this competition, there's a lot of shoes with unique buckles. Yeah. Either they're sourced vintage ones, or they were made especially for this pair. And I think it's very easy to overdo the buckle, and it can be kind of gaudy and maybe not add any difficulty. But you see, there's a couple of buckles here that I find really tasteful, and this being one of them, with a kind of rose gold finish. And it's got a unique appearance without just being different for the sake of being different.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're really attractive.
Well, here is another familiar name, Louis. He was an apprentice of yours at Gaziano and
Yeah,
Gerling.
exactly. So we know each other for years going back, and he's got his own business now, and it's really nice to see people that I know personally, and I've been on their journey to some extent, to see them doing really well, and doing really beautiful, tasteful work. Really beautiful.
And Louis is based in Germany.
Yeah, in Munich.
And what did he place last year? Was it last year or the year before that he was one of the top threes? Or was it four?
He got third.
1
year.
Yeah.
Victor Wulpe and Atanas got
amazing. And so this is another interpretation of the double monk strap.
Yeah.
And again, one of the things that I like with this particular model is how open to interpretation it is. And so seeing how different shoemakers approach the design element of the pattern making is really quite unique. I mean, here we see, kind of a beautiful swoop on that double monk.
Curved, to me, this kind of strap looks very light.
Yeah.
Sometimes a double monk with this wide strap can look very heavy, and this is very light and nimble. And I think it's probably my favorite buckle of the event. It's a round with a hammered finish, and I think a lot of people have tried to make very big, elaborate buckles. And I think it's much more tasteful to actually make something that looks a bit smaller.
Yeah.
And being round rather than a square, it kind of compresses it. And I think this light looking buckle with this light open arch here in the strap just makes it very light looking.
Yeah.
And I think it's very elegant. And the lightness, more delicate look, works with the shape of the last. It's all very tasteful.
Yeah. And those elements of kind of craft are kind of taken through the entire shoe. I mean, here again we see that braided stitch.
Exactly.
Which is a really interesting way to add a little bit of a texture and dimensionality to what would otherwise be a very kind of flat, clean, straight stitch.
And these are all features that I've seen in my work implement in clients' shoes. So it's nice to see that these things that are kind of presented as concepts in this event start to trickle down into shoes that people wear on the street. And that's kind of the purpose, to kind of present an idea. Maybe somebody wouldn't wear this shoe in its entirety, but they'll be like, oh, I like that buckle, or I like that jade stitch. I would love it on something
absolutely.
For myself.
Well, another very interesting shoe, Ken
Katoka.
Another interesting shoe right here, again, kind of representing that scope, a variety of work. I mean, this one being on the slightly more, let's say, adventurous side.
Yeah, so the first two shoes we looked at were a little bit more classic in their presentation, traditional heel heights, very wearable constructions, whereas this is a little bit more out there. And I would say this is probably my favorite.
Okay.
It's the one that's probably most in the spirit of the competition.
Yeah.
A little bit extremer, and it's kind of giving us a new version of the waist here, where the waist goes all the way back, but it finishes before and it's tucked away inside the heel. So he's done a good job of kind of bending the rules a little bit.
It's very avant-garde.
Yeah, and beautiful fine work, a really light sole that reminds me of the competition shoes of the mid-1800s, where the soles were tiny, 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 with equally small stitches. And it's a very complicated, very unique, and well executed. So for me, this is my favorite of the year.
Yeah, interesting.
But I don't know which one will win.
Yes, we don't.
But I think this one stands out.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of shoes that stand out on this table, but most of them are not as beautifully made as this is.
Yeah.
And tasteful to my mind.
Yeah. And, as a bespoke shoemaker and as someone that is, very much integrated into that community of shoemakers, what is it that you think is the legacy of the World Championships of Shoemaking now, and what impact has it been having on the trade itself?
I mean, I think it's had a massive impact. I think a lot of, maybe not every client is aware that this composition exists, but it kind of puts these ideas out into the world, and somebody will add this feature to a shoe they will put on display, and somebody will see it, enjoy it, and want to own it. And presenting these extremes allows for a little bit more moderate, adventurous designs to kind of trickle down, because people see the most extreme version and they'll own the more toned down version.
Yeah.
So I definitely see shoes and interest from clients to own shoes that not necessarily look like this, but are inspired by this work. And in only a few years, it's going to be the 10-year anniversary of the competition. And I think it'd be great to present all the top 3 shoes from every year and see where it started, where it's come to, and how many great ideas have been presented and kind of added to the vocabulary of shoemaking. And kind of open up some doors for new designs within the world of classic men's shoes, which these still are. And I think most people find something that they like, and it's just going to get better and better, hopefully.
And do you think it's pushing the craft?
For sure. I mean, I think doing this kind of stuff occasionally for an event like this, it kind of gives your skill set a bit of headroom. If you do a few projects like this and you know that you can do it, doing your normal work feels a little bit more approachable and almost maybe less intimidating. So I think it's good and a healthy exercise for shoemakers to really push themselves. Because I think it makes them more comfortable in doing their day-to-day work. Rather than that being their limit. If this is their limit, what you do for your bread and butter every day is more within your comfort zone.
Would you have any advice to maybe a shoemaker that might be kind of on the fence as to whether or not they enter this contest?
I think something that I think has happened over the years is that a lot of very good shoemakers don't enter unless they feel like they can perform something excellent, like being a top contender. And I think it'd be great to see shoemakers do beautiful work, even if they're not going for that #1 position. Just present a nice concept, but it doesn't have to be all the way up there. Because it's still a great way, and when this competition started, there was a lot of us that rather it almost be an exhibition than a competition. But I think being a competition, it kind of pushes people a little further, and getting that, being the winner, there's a special feeling to that. And the year I won, it was really a great experience, and a lot of people that I knew of but never talked to reached out to me to congratulate me, and it kind of made me a lot of new friends.
Well, it certainly helped launch your career as an independent shoemaker.
For many years that was one of the first things mentioned when I met a new client. Is that, I heard about the shoemaking championship and they want to learn more how that works. Some clients didn't know the competition existed, and then after meeting me, they did a little research. Oh, this guy has been in this competition, and they've started following the competition after. So it kind of goes all kinds of directions. But it's only good things come out of this event. So.
Well, Daniel, hey, thank you so much for taking time today.
Always a pleasure.
And I think I know that soon I've got a pair of bespoke shoes from you that should be coming up for delivery. So hopefully we'll be able to film that in person. I can't wait to see it because it's been kept a little bit of a kind of a mystery for me.
I have some clients asking, like, when's Kirby gonna get his shoes? So now it's not just you that's waiting.
Well, I mean, you're a victim of your own success, I feel like, and I think that at this level, one must be patient. But I must say, I'm very excited to see how it's all come together, and hopefully see some of these elements that might be,
We look forward to working on a few interesting pieces for you.
Excellent. Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you.